Austin, back with another great episode of the PowerPlay Series. And I'm here alongside the absolutely wonderful founder and managing partner of the Peter Damon Group. There he is in the flesh, Mr. Darren Peters. He's co-hosting with me. He's allowing me to co-host with him, and I'm so grateful.
Oh, you're so kind, Cerise. Anyway, that's right. That's right. Hello everybody. Glad to be back here, bringing you yet another superstar guest. And I know this guy, and I mean he's doing his part to make real, tangible difference in the world today, and he's going to tell you all about it. I've been knowing him for over 20 years, and he's a great guy. But we're not going to get into all that. We're going to let you see for yourself. So we have today Craig Kirby. Cericia, tell us about Craig.
Well, just a little bit, because we could spend the entire show talking about Craig Kirby's accomplishments. But in a nutshell, we want you to know that he's one of the nation's premier political operatives with over 2 decades of hands-on political experience. He has successfully navigated issue advocacy and electoral strategies for candidates at all levels of government. He presently serves as managing director of Savannah LLC. And what's really, really cool and exciting about Craig is that he's the founder and CEO of the nonprofit foundation Golf, My Future, My Game. And so today we want to talk to him a little bit about his organization and its mission, and of course his love for golf, because all of that fuels his drive, so to speak. So I'm going to tell you, I have been coming up with all kinds of golf puns. So if I say some, I think they're cute and funny, but please laugh if I do. Anyway, with no further ado, Mr. Craig Kirby, welcome.
Well. Cericia, thank you so much for having me. Darren, my friend, my colleague, my brother, a man who works hard each and every day to improve the lot of others, the lives of others. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, we're gonna get right into it, and Craig, Cericia talked about your political background, so we know that political rap sheet goes on for days, and it's actually how I got to know you. But we want to know, as a political strategist, you've had terrific success that's been well documented. But tell us how that's kind of impacted your life and got you to where you are today.
So first off, we all know politics is in everything. And the politics that I learned with you years ago has done nothing but aid me in my work today. I often tell folks one of the reasons that I do what I do is because my first opportunity in politics was with Reverend Jackson. This was back following the 84 election, going into the 88 election, when he was actually building the National Rainbow Coalition. And so what I've done is I've used that model with and for Golf, My Future, My Game, just as Reverend brought new folks into the political world. My goal is to bring new folks, diverse folks in the industry and game of golf. What a lot of people don't realize is that the golf industry is $102 billion a year economic engine annually. There are a ton of jobs in this industry that folks whose melanin content is like ours just aren't aware. And so for me, it was really important that we pique an interest in the game of golf to our folks, that we create a connection to the game through their lens, and most importantly, that we highlight those economic opportunities. In regards to our kids, we realize that there are opportunities to make a difference in the lives of kids from diverse backgrounds and different experiences. And so again, what we do is we create a passport to the world of business through the sport of golf. Again, by piquing interest, creating connections to the game through their lens, not the lens of some 50, 60, 70-year-old person who doesn't look like us, who's been privileged enough to play country club golf their entire life. No, through the lens of that kid who doesn't know what they're going to have for lunch and or dinner later that evening. All right, so that's the key for me. And at the end of the day, what we want to do is create these economic opportunities, thus creating options for kids to make choices. That's what it's all about.
Right.
So that the unparalleled possibilities can be realized through education, experience, and exposure, which is going to invite joy, generational wealth, and miracles. And as I share with people, and especially golfers, golf is an endless series of tragedies, obscured by the occasional miracle. But it's that miracle that brings you back time after time. I mean, you've played 18 holes, 17 of those holes were probably horrible, but you get up on that 18th tee box, bam! That's that drive. That's that miracle that brings you back.
Cerisi, I know you got a couple of questions, but Craig, you said one thing that's kind of stood out to me that I wanted to draw some attention to, because you mentioned that you worked for Reverend Jackson, and we've had a number of guests here who have said, I got my start, or I did, with Reverend Jackson. It's just so amazing that there's such a pipeline that was built through that, one individual, and all the things that he was doing. And I think that's kind of what you're doing here with your golf organization. You're trying to build a pipeline to success for these young people. So I just want to, make that comment about Jackson and the parallel to what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And you're right. That is it. I mean, we are trying to build that pipeline. I mean, I tell our kids all the time, I mean, golf is more than a game. All right. Golf is a lifetime experience with unparalleled possibilities. And it's that game, it's that sport that can bridge the gap between global citizens at the top
Yeah.
and the left behind at the bottom. I mean, everybody comes to a place from someplace. All right. A lot of these PGA Tour players, they didn't just wake up on the tour. They woke up and there were people who worked with them, who developed them to get them to where they are. And so, yes, that's our goal, is to find, to develop, and to let them understand the appreciation of the talent that God has put in each and every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So for you, did you grow up on the country club playing golf every day?
No, ma'am.
What was your first exposure to the game?
So my first exposure, I was a sophomore at Albion College, which is in Michigan. And one day, Teresa, excuse me, I was seated in the living room. I was on the couch, and these three white guys came downstairs and they were talking and laughing and everything. And they said, "Hey, Kirby, we're going to play a round of golf. Would you like to join us?" And I looked at them and I literally froze for a nanosecond because I had never played golf. I mean, as a kid growing up in Dayton, Ohio, I walked past a golf course a minimum of twice a day and never thought to go in there. I mean, my parents both were educators, well off. I mean, we were solid middle class, but they never talked about golf. People talk about what they know about.
Right.
And so they asked me that question, and I was too embarrassed to tell them that I had never played. So I said, "Yeah, sure, let's go," thinking they were just joking with me. And so they continued towards the door, and then they stopped and they looked back at me and they said, "Well, you coming?" And I went, "Oh, yeah, I'm coming." And I'm in my mind like, "Oh, shucks, what have I done?" So we get in the car and we're on our way to the course, and they're laughing and joking and talking to each other. and I'm in the back seat looking out the window like I'm going to prison.
Yeah.
I'm like, what have I
What did I
got
just
myself
do? What
into?
did I just agree
What?
to?
Yeah.
Exactly. So we get to the course, and it was literally about a 6-minute ride. And we pull into the parking lot. They get out, and I go, "Oh, this is my out. I don't have golf clubs," because they're getting their
Yeah.
clubs. And I go, "Fellas, I can't play. I don't have any clubs." And they go, "Craig, we'll rent you some." And I'm like, "Okay." So now we're up on the tee box, and they're like, "Craig, you're up." And I go, "Oh no, it's got to be beauty before brains." I mean, I'm just trying to think of stuff because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I watch what they do. And I mean, then I was an athlete. I did have high eye-hand coordination, but I watched them and I did what they did. And that first drive went like 75 yards in the middle of the fairway. And the rest is history. I did well enough where they invited me back the following week.
So
And I'll never, ever forget this. I'm on the 7th fairway, and another buddy of mine, a guy by the name of Mark Fox, as a matter of fact, he is a doctor in Findlay, Ohio. And it's interesting because this shirt came from his country club. But he came to me and he's like, "Craig Kirby, I did not know you played golf." And I went, "Yeah, man, I've been playing for a minute." And he goes, "What are you doing this summer?" And I looked at him and I said, "Mark, I don't know what I'm doing. Why?" And he goes, "Well, how would you like to work on a cruise ship?" And I looked at him and I said, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "Well, my dad just bought interest in a cruise line and we're looking to staff it up." And I figured if you played golf, you'd like golf, you would like, working on the water. And I look at him and I go, "Mark," I said, "no disrespect, but the last time somebody like you offered somebody like me a free boat ride, it didn't work out too well."
yeah.
And he said,
they
"No,
didn't
no."
offer it to. They didn't offer
They
it.
didn't offer it.
Exactly. But bottom line, I ended up being a maitre d' on a cruise line. And that was my summer job for 3 years while I was an undergrad.
Wow.
And that right there let me know the power of this game. I mean, as I share with folks, the three of us, we all have the same credentials: a BA, an LLM, a master's, a JD, and we all go to work at a Fortune 100 company. All right. Now, mind you, our parents and grandparents have told us we have to work twice as hard as others, and we do.
Mm-hmm.
But one day, Senior VP walks in and says, "Hey, we've got a golf tournament on Friday. Would you three like to play?" Two of us say yes. One of us is like, "You know what? I'm like, I've got work I've got to do."
Mm-hmm.
From that point on, it's two different tracks.
Right.
Two of you, Darren and Sarisa, you guys are coming in now at 10, 11 o'clock, staying till maybe 1 o'clock. And I'm in there from 6:30 in the morning
Yeah.
till 8 o'clock at night, wondering where y'all are. And then a few months after that, I come to find out I'm reporting to you two. Well, how did this happen? Because what unparalleled possibilities. What the magic of the game of golf. It is the green boardroom. It is where business relationships are fostered, created and fostered, and decisions are made.
Yeah.
And we've got to be there. All right. We've got to be there. We've got to take advantage of that opportunity, which is going to give us the oxygen that we need to have that possibility of promise. That's what this game is all about.
You're right. I've seen it happen. Definitely. Definitely. Definitely seen that happen. So golf has also landed you on television, is that right?
It has. Yes,
Tell us
ma'am.
about your experience on Holy Moly really quickly.
Well,
And tell
first
us
off, I thought I
who've
was going to
never
die.
seen the show, because there's some people who haven't seen the show. So
Well,
tell us
you know
about it.
what? If you ever see it, you will laugh your behind off.
I've
But
seen it.
literally thought that I was going to die that show, that episode. That water was really cold that I fell in, but I survived. But it was one of the greatest opportunities that I was able to take advantage of. It enabled me to create and to build to build a relationship with Steph Curry. And it
Mhm.
was interesting because when I met Steph, his grandparents happened to be from the same hometown as my grandparents.
Hmm.
So to be able to share that with him, it just knocked down a whole lot of levels. And again, when you're on that course, you don't know who knows who, you don't know what they do, et cetera, et cetera. But it was a wonderful opportunity. And that experience also gave us a national exposure, which is what helped us move ahead a little bit further.
That's so. I mean, I know we've been on golf a lot, but I played about a month ago, and I went out, didn't have a partner. They matched me up with these two guys. Um, we're out playing, start talking, and it turns out that one of the guys, we start talking, and I said, "Hey, I'm from Arkansas," and he said, "Arkansas?" He's like, "I'm from Arkansas." And then he said, we start talking further. Turns out that his wife worked in the Clinton administration, and his mother was somebody that I knew well in the Clinton administration. I mean, it's just wild that it
Wow.
just so happened that we just met and had a conversation on the golf course, and of course, are keeping in touch. And it put me back in touch with,
With his mother.
with his mother-in-law. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's
And
cool.
that's golf. That's what it does, man. I mean, that's what it does.
I gotta get better. Like I just want to wear the cute golf outfits. That's and
Well, you can.
I put on a number of golf tournaments, and then I just want to be cute on the course. So I'm gonna get better and actually
Well,
pick
you
up the
can.
club.
Yeah.
You can. Just remember this: the largest room in the world is what? Improvement.
Ah,
Ah.
got it.
Good.
All
I'm gonna
right.
tell everybody. Craig Kirby told me I could do this.
Hmm.
You can do
Let's
it.
do this.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right. I
So
think we. Oh, go ahead, Teresa.
I know. I'm just monopolizing it. I'm sorry, Darren, but you've been making power plays yourself throughout your career, and you're definitely making a power play with your organization. But outside of golf, like what, like if you could do and make a power play that, changes or eradicates an issue or a problem, what would it be? What would Craig Kirby's one power play be?
To be able to create opportunities for my younger daughter, who is now a sophomore at Florida A&M University,
Okay,
to give
family.
her thank you, to give her that bench so that she realizes her talents are as equal as anyone else's talents. She is as favored as anyone else that she will run up against, and that the world that she wants to be a part of and change is the world she can be a part of and change. I mean, for me, my world is her world. I mean, to know that when I'm gone, that she's here and doing what she was taught to do, that's where my joy comes from.
I know that's right. And
Nice.
as parents, we definitely, Darren and I definitely
You
feel that
know,
deeply.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
and I'll tell you, it's one of the things that I really am most proud about that we just were able to achieve is we were able to work with the White House, this White House, with Dr. Dietrich Trent, who's executive director of the White House Initiative on HBCUs. and we now have the HBCU Golf Consortium. And that HBCU Golf Consortium currently consists of 10 model schools. And what it is it's a strategic alliance initiated again by the White House, by the executive director of HBCUs, and the 4 golf commissioners. And that direct line of conversation has never ever happened. All right. It's all a part of something called Make Golf Your Thing. And this initiative is funded in large part by an industry wide collaboration of 89 golf organizations. And our focus areas are 4, and that is jobs, paid internships, and economic opportunities, research partnerships, integrated classroom education with experiential learning curricula, and in turf grass and agronomy projects. So we're able now, as I shared with the commissioners, to check 4 boxes. And those 4 boxes are wants and needs and wants. It's a win-win for both the industry who wants to diverse and grow, and for folks who look like us who don't know what opportunities exist.
Yeah.
So it was interesting because we were in Louisville, Kentucky last week at the 3rd annual African American Golf Expo and Forum. And we were fortunate enough to have Dr. Trent come and address the convention. She was the keynote speaker. And when she finished, I was fortunate to sit right next. I was sitting in between the former PGA Tour commissioner, Tim Fincham, and Jerry Tardy, who is editor-in-chief of Golf Digest. And again, I looked at them and I said, you know what you're experiencing? I said, you're experiencing exposure meeting excellence. And I sincerely meant that. Our kids at these 103 HBCUs are excellent.
Yes.
We just have to get them exposure.
Yes.
We give them that exposure with the education they have, and they will continue to change this world that we currently live in.
Absolutely. You're preaching my kind of message. I totally believe in that. I'm a huge HBCU proponent, and it's all about exposure for them. They often are first generation college students and underserved communities around the nation. And all they need is a chance in that passport that you spoke about earlier. So kudos to you and your organization for all that you're doing to increase diversity, to provide these opportunities, to get the numbers, to change the demographics for the sport of the game of golf. So we appreciate you so much for coming on and elucidating golf. And I won't ask you what your handicap is.
Well,
I'm not,
thank you for having.
You're
Look,
gonna ask?
I was going to ask him to, hey, man, we need to get out there and play. But when he talked about the first time he hit the ball, he went right down the center of the fairway, 80 yards, you know. I mean, that wasn't that far, but
You might want to stay away from
yeah, I might want to stay away.
No, Darren, come on out. Both of you, come on out. You know what? We can go when you want. Let me know. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to play this Sunday, man.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that because we definitely got to get out there. Now, look.
Send me pictures.
Look, we want to make sure the people who are listening, you know, can keep up with you and the impact that your foundation is making, not just on the golf world, but just on the world itself.
Yeah.
Are you on social media or have a website that you want to share?
We are on social media. Our website is www.golfmyfuturemygame.org.
Okay.
Facebook, we are at Golf My Future My Game. Twitter, My Future My Game. I believe I think I sent something that has all of our social media handles.
Okay.
So if you all could put that up, and I say that because I might look like I'm 20, but I'm kind of older. And so this whole social media piece, I understand its importance, but I just pick up the phone and call people.
It's a lot, isn't it? Yes.
Or I'll just wait for them to come out their office before I grab them.
We get it. We get it. Well, thank you for that. We definitely it's up on the screen now as you speak. So we got you.
Great.
Got you. We got you.
Well, look. Thank you, Craig. Teresa, did I jump on?
No, you good.
Yeah. Well, look. Thank you, Craig, for coming by on the PowerPlay discussion series. We really enjoyed having you. Of course, we wish you much success. As you keep it moving forward.
Well, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. Continue to do it. Continue to be happy and keep hope alive.
That's right. Keep hope alive.